Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we like to really get our hands dirty with information.
Yeah, cut through the noise and get to the good stuff.
Exactly. And today we are diving deep into the world of flexographic printing.
Really exciting stuff.
It is exciting stuff, especially if you are thinking about a career move to becoming a flexographic press operator.
A lot of opportunity in that field.
There is, and we want to make sure that you are prepared. So we've got some really cool insider info to share with you today, including real interview questions that you might encounter.
Yeah, got to be ready for those.
You do. And expert advice on how not only to ace the interview, but almost more importantly, to figure out if this is even the right job for you.
Yeah, is it the right fit?
Is it the right fit? Exactly. That's what we're going to help you figure out. And to help us navigate these inky waters, I am so excited to introduce our printing industry expert. You've seen it all, done it all.
I don't know about all of it, but...
Enough to be dangerous and enough to share all that expertise with us today. So thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Okay, so let's set the scene here.
Yeah.
Imagine you've got your nice outfit on. You're about to walk into that interview.
Mm.
What do you think is the first question they're going to ask you?
Oh, that's a good one. It's tough to say, but probably something like, what experience do you have operating flexographic presses?
I bet you $10 that's the first question.
You know, you're probably right. It often is. And it's an important one, right? It's not just about, did you work on this machine or that machine? It's about, do you really understand the heart of flexographic printing? That relationship between the ink, the plate, and the material.
It's a partnership.
It is.
Okay, so how do you convey all of that in your answer? Especially if you are just starting out. Let's say you haven't actually worked specifically on a flexographic press before.
Well, you know, everybody starts somewhere, and I think this is where talking about transferable skill is really key.
Love it.
So think about any experience you've had with any type of printing or maybe even any manufacturing machinery. Did you ever have to, maybe back in school, operate a screen printing press?
Yeah.
Or maybe you worked in a factory where precision and attention to detail were super important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Highlight those experiences.
Show them what you got.
Exactly. Show them you've got those, you know, those underlying principles down, even if the specifics are a little bit different.
That's such a good point. Don't be afraid to connect the dots for them.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of connecting the dots, let's talk about another really common interview question. How do you ensure that the ink and color are consistent throughout the print run?
Ooh, that's a big one.
That's a big one. Because if one thing's off...
Oh, yeah. The whole thing can be messed up.
The whole batch, right. So it seems like in the printing world, this is mission critical.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I always think of it like baking a cake. You don't want one side perfectly golden brown and the other side like pale and sad.
Right. Nobody wants a sad cake.
No, exactly. So they want to know that you understand the importance of quality control and that you're the type of person who pays attention to detail.
Okay, so how do you demonstrate that? Like, do you go in with, like, all the technical terms, start, like, rattling them off?
You know, while it's great to know your densitometers from your spectrophotometers, it's not about, like, you know, overwhelming them with all the jargon.
Right.
Instead, just walk them through your process. Explain how you'd maybe visually inspect the print at regular intervals. You know, compare it to a color-accurate proof.
Ah, the proof is in the pudding, or the printing.
Exact. And here's a pro tip. Mention any experience you have with color management software.
Oh, fancy.
It shows you're up to date with, you know, what's current, what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, shows you're in the know.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So, again, it's not about showing off, like, you know, how big your vocabulary is. It's about, do you understand the process and what happens when things go wrong? Because we know in the printing world, sometimes those machines, they just have a mind of their own.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you answer that question? If they ask you how to troubleshoot an issue.
Right. So that's how do you troubleshoot issues with the flexographic press? And that's where you get to show off how you solve problems.
I love it.
You know, you don't want to just be like, oh, I checked the pressure settings. You want to give them like an example. Tell them about a time you encountered a similar issue, what steps you took to diagnose it, what adjustments did you make? And that shows them that you can handle these situations.
Yeah, you can think on your feet or on your, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's so helpful. So it's about bringing those experiences to life.
Yeah.
And I love that you mentioned, you know, earlier we were talking about finding the right fit.
Right.
Now, you know, our listeners are amazing. They sent in this incredible career guide. Thank you to whoever did that, by the way. It's chock full of information.
Chock full, yeah.
And I think this is a really good time to weave in some of those insights because, you know, acing an interview is important.
It is.
But it's also about making sure that this job is actually something that, aligns with your goals.
Yeah, your personality.
Yeah, it's going to make you happy at the end of the day. So let's take a look at what this career guide has to say about the pros and cons of being a flexographic press operator.
Oh, it's great. Like, one of the things it really highlights is the job stability.
Well, that's important.
It really is. Print is not going anywhere no matter what anybody says.
It's true.
And skilled operators are always going to be in demand. Plus, think of all the cool projects you'll get to work on.
I know.
The packaging, labels, those are just the start. You're going to be a part of bringing those designs to life.
It's like you're an artist.
Kind of, yeah.
But you're using this amazing high-tech printing press instead of a paintbrush.
Exactly. But, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right?
Right.
This career guide doesn't shy away from the tougher parts of the job either.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it can be physically demanding.
Right.
You might be on your feet a lot, maybe lifting heavy things.
Safety first. Always.
Absolutely. You got to be on your toes, especially working with machinery and sometimes chemicals. Safety is paramount.
That's a really good point. It's not just about the job itself. It's about the whole picture.
The whole package, yeah. So how can someone use this information in an interview?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, it's all about asking smart questions.
Well,
showing them that you've done your research. So, for example, if long hours are something that you're worried about, ask about the typical shift lengths, or maybe, how much overtime is expected.
right, right.
And if you're curious about safety, which you should be, ask about their safety programs, their protocols, their training.
Yeah, show them that you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for the right fit for you.
That's the key. Okay, shall we dive back into the interview questions?
Yes, hit me.
Okay, how about this one? How do you maintain the quality of the printed product during a print run?
Ooh.
Okay, that one's all about attention to detail.
Catching those little tiny imperfections.
Exactly. You got it. So they want to know, what's your process like? Are you checking things constantly? Do you have a system? This is where you can talk about those registration marks.
All right.
Make sure they're lined up perfectly. Maybe you use a magnifying glass or a densitometer.
Fancy tools?
Got to have the right tools for the job. And you know what? Don't be afraid to get a little technical here.
Okay.
Explain how you'd adjust the ink viscosity if you needed to, or maybe the printing pressure to keep those prints looking sharp.
Show them you're a printing pro.
Exactly. You're not just pressing buttons, you're in control.
You're printing, what is it, like a conductor?
Yes. Or maybe like a pilot. You got to make sure everything's running smoothly.
So many analogies.
Speaking of which, this next question tests those organizational skills.
Yeah.
How do you handle multiple print runs with different specifications? Can you imagine? Different projects, different colors, different materials.
Oh my gosh, and different deadlines, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Pressure's on.
So how do you stay organized amidst all of that chaos?
That's what they want to know. So maybe you live by checklists.
I love a good check.
Or maybe you're a color coding guru. Whatever your method is, tell them about it.
Yeah.
Show them you can handle the pressure and not let anything slip through the cracks.
It's like a high-stakes game of Tetris, but with ink and deadlines.
Oh, I like that. And just like Tetris, you got to anticipate what's coming next, right?
Right. Yeah.
So here's a pro tip. Mention that you'd proactively communicate with the team. Make sure everyone's on the same page about those specifications.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It does. Okay, speaking of teamwork, here's your next question. How do you collaborate with other team members to ensure a successful print run?
Ooh, it's a team effort, isn't it?
It really is. They want to know that you can play nice in the printing sandbox, so to speak. Can you communicate effectively with your fellow operators, with the supervisors, anyone involved?
Yep.
So think about a time when you had to work with others to solve a problem or to maybe improve a process and share that example.
And elaboration is key.
It is. Now, let's switch gears for a moment. We've talked about technical skills, but what about staying current with the industry?
Oh, yeah.
Because things are always changing.
New technology all the time.
Exactly. So how would you answer this question? How do you stay up to date with advances in printing technology?
Ooh, I like that question.
Right. And it's not just about listing off fancy new machines. It's about showing that you're curious, that you're eager to learn. So maybe you subscribe to industry magazines like Flexo magazine or Packaging Digest.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe you follow some printing experts on LinkedIn, or you attend webinars and workshops.
Lifelong learning is so important.
It is, especially in this field. And, it's a good time to bring up that career guide again.
Okay.
Because it really emphasized those soft skills, communication, problem solving, teamwork.
Oh, so important.
They're crucial for any job, but especially in printing where everything's fast-paced and collaborative.
Yeah, you've got to be able to work together under pressure.
Exactly. So how do you show off those soft skills in an interview? Well, often they'll ask behavioral questions, like, tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult coworker.
Oh, everybody's got a story.
Right. But don't worry, this isn't a trap. It's an opportunity. Pick a real example, but put a positive spin on it. Talk about how you successfully handled the situation, what you learned from it.
Diplomacy. We love to see it.
Yes. Focus on the positive outcome. Okay, ready for another tough one?
Hit me.
What is your greatest weakness?
Ooh, that one.
Right. Avoid those cliche answers like, I'm a perfectionist, or I work too hard.
They've heard it all.
Exactly. Instead, be honest. Choose a real area for improvement, but frame it positively.
Okay.
For instance, you could say, I'm working on being more assertive in meetings. I started speaking up more, sharing my ideas, asking for feedback.
Showing that you're always striving to grow.
Exactly. Now, I know this is a lot to remember. Luckily, there's a tool that can help, RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah, our AI friend.
Exactly. Imagine having a personal interview coach available 24/7.
Sign me up. So how does RoleCatcher work, in a nutshell? So how does it work? Does it, hide under the table during the interview and, feed me lines?
I wish. No, it's way less intrusive than that.
Okay, good.
But in a way, even more helpful. So you basically upload the job description for the position you're interested in.
Okay.
And RoleCatcher's AI, it analyzes it, right? It figures out what the employer is really looking for. What are those keywords? What are those key phrases?
Oh, very smart.
And then it helps you tailor your answers so you're speaking directly to what they value most.
Ooh, that's good because sometimes those job descriptions, they're a little bit like reading another language,
Oh, absolutely.
It's like a secret code.
Yes. RoleCatcher is like your secret decoder ring.
I love it. I love it. So, I don't know, it just takes out the guesswork.
Exactly. And here's the best part. It actually gives you feedback on your answers, too. Yeah. So it might say, hey, maybe use a stronger verb here. Or you could quantify this accomplishment with some numbers. Or, maybe rephrase this for clarity.
Wow. So it's like having a little tiny interview coach.
Exactly. A little one living in your computer.
I love that. So we've covered interview questions, those all-important soft skills.
Right.
And now this awesome AI tool that can, help you just kind of put your best foot forward.
Yeah, boost your confidence.
Boost your confidence, exactly. Is there anything else that people who are really serious about becoming a flexographic press operator, is there anything else that they should be doing to, increase their chances of getting that job?
There's one more thing. Remember that career guide we talked about?
Yeah.
There's a whole section on gaining practical experience. It's so important in this field, even more so than others.
Right.
So look for internships, apprenticeships. You could even volunteer at a local print shop.
Yeah, just to get your foot in the door.
Exactly. And while you're getting that experience, start putting together a portfolio. Oh, yeah.
Showcase some of your work. So, packaging you've designed, labels, anything that shows off those skills.
Like a visual resume?
Exactly. It makes a huge difference, especially when you're just starting out.
Great advice. Okay, so as we kind of wrap up here, you've given us so much to think about today. What's one final piece of wisdom that you would impart on our listeners who are about to go on that interview journey?
I would say, remember, preparation is key. Study those questions, practice your answers, and definitely check out RoleCatcher. It can really make a difference.
Yeah.
But most importantly, be yourself. Let your passion shine through.
I love that.
Yeah, show them you're eager to learn, that you care about quality work. And remember, an interview is a two-way street.
That's right.
It's about them deciding if you're a good fit for them, but it's also about you deciding if they're a good fit for you.
It's a partnership.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of flexographic press operating. Thank you so much for being here. Your insights have been amazing. It's been my pleasure. Good luck out there, everyone.
And to all you aspiring flexographic press operators out there, go get them. And remember, you got this.